Right now, all Americans need to pay close attention to the rhetoric around the homeless problem. So I know that up at the Wacko House, Taco and Company want us all to buy into this rhetoric that the homeless communities of our cities, of our neighborhoods, are made up of substance abusers and the mentally ill. Now, part of this is true. However, that's actually not the entire truth. So there's a couple videos I make. So the first part is that is not what the numbers show. The numbers actually show that 75% of those who are homeless are not homeless due to substance abuse. They're not homeless due to mental illness. They're actually homeless due to lack of housing. Okay, so that paints another picture, but how easy is it to go ahead and say, get them off the streets, especially when you're painting this big picture that they are actually criminals or substance abusers. But let's look at some simple facts. Housing shortage, a lot of people getting fired. As I walk around my neighborhood in DC, I'm seeing more and more evictions. Okay, and then let's look at another fact. Where are they taking the homeless? Right here in DC. I mean, honestly, the homeless are so close to my heart. I've done work with 14th Street Village, Harriet Tubman House, Sojourner Truth House, House of Ruth. So it's very, very dear to my heart. So whenever I see homeless, I wonder, where are they going? Where are they taking? They're not telling us that. Because I think that if you live in DC, you already know we don't have a lot of places for them to go. Now, we have probably more places than other places, but I would say about the last 5 years, they've shut a lot of these places down. They've cleared them off of D Street, and then they put up, I think it's Georgetown Law and all this stuff, so they're running out of places to go. Okay, so number one, if you're homeless and it's a crime, which actually, since when did that become a crime? But they say it's a crime. Where do you go? We know there's no shelters. We know that Reagan shut down a lot of the facilities that they could go to. Me working actually with homeless people that are on the street, I already know this. Okay, so think about that. And then also think about, with the economy going the way it's going, there's going to be a lot of people who don't have homes. So this basically sets the stage for once you lose your job, as many people are set to do. We already know this in DC. So many people have lost their jobs because it's a federal city. So you lose your job, you're now homeless, you're now a criminal. Where do you go? I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, if you find yourself homeless, you're going to be headed to some of those detention camps. Okay, so this is a great time for us to actually learn about who the homeless are, okay, and to realize that we're all vulnerable. If you say that, most of us are just 3 paychecks away from losing our job, and now we can't live in our car, we can't take a tent, and, go out to these many places. No, pay attention. There's going to be a lot of people that'll probably find themselves homeless. And no, they won't be allowed to sleep in Walmart or live out of their cars or live in their camper or just tent up. No, he's setting the stage so that regular Americans who don't see themselves as homeless, you don't see yourself as a substance abuser, you don't see yourself as having mental illness, but you're going to be vulnerable. And I think we're getting ready to find that out.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Heavy Pressures. So I lost my voice. I have a video to unpack, so I want you guys to watch. Stay active for me.
Oh, but sit down, there's more. I'm on a roll tonight. Let's talk about the Trump administration placing the images of Black men on the White House social media pages. So the Trump administration has just crossed another line, posting the mugshots of arrested Black men on the official White House social media pages. Not one white man, not one non-Black face. Did you know about that? Let's be clear. This isn't about transparency or public safety. This is about controlling the narrative. And I've been talking about that this week on social media, how they are allowing the media to be controlled about what you see, controlled about what you hear about, controlled about what you learn. We're literally having to say things like, what was that word that I've been hearing, or that phrase? Music festival? What about that one? Or what about the purses? You couldn't even say the other word again because you just may get suppressed. So let's be clear. It's about stoking fear and feeding into the age-old racist stereotype that Black people are inherently criminal or dangerous. Because remember, this is the same guy that took out a 4-page ad on 4 innocent young Black men. Yeah, that same guy. So this isn't a new tactic, folks. We already know that. This is not new. We're used to this. We already know how this is going to go. And here's the thing. We're going to have to watch very carefully how the media plays this out, because guess what? If you think he's not controlling the media, think again. I guarantee you this entire conversation that we're having right now won't even get 3,000 views. It won't even get 300. Because my information and other people who provide news and journalistic commentary and content is being suppressed. All right. Let's get back into it, shall we? Hang on just a second. So here's what they're doing. This is not about the concept that this is new, because we all know that it is not. This is about continuing to work on the continuous stereotype of the Black male in this country, right? It's used to justify over-policing. It's also used to talk about mass incarceration, because we already know what that's all about, right? You remember the 13th Amendment, and you do know what that's about, right? Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. And that violent targeting of our communities for decades, that ain't new either. There's more. So by pushing these images out to the public on the White House page, that must make it real, right? That's got to make it real. Here's what's happening. They're shaping the perception and telling the nation who to fear. They want old white ladies to continue to clutch their purses in public and lock their doors, justifying future crackdowns. That's what they're doing too. I want you to understand that this is actually planting the seed that an increase in police and military presence in Black neighborhoods is necessary. And they're distracting you guys from the systemic failure that we're all witnessing right now. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about what that means? So they're masking policy failures with the mess that we are seeing right now. Washington, D.C.'s crime rate is the lowest it's been in almost 30 years. It's down another 26%. The data and the numbers don't lie. But here's the issue. History is absolutely repeating itself. So this mirrors the exact same propaganda campaigns used to target Latinx and immigrant communities. And we're seeing that in real time, where they're just going around and they're just picking up folks. Doesn't matter who it is. We just go pick them up. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. Yeah. Now the focus is on Black communities. And y'all, we have said that on social media. We have continued to say that on social media. From the beginning, we knew that our communities were next. Now, here's the end game. It's going to be expanded racial profiling. We already see that. Okay? Higher rates of police violence, without a word being said, and further erosion of our civil rights. You ever thought about that too? Because it's coming. Here's a reason why you should be alarmed and you should be hot as fish grease. Here's what starts with selective mugshot posts that don't end there. Here's the issue. You're going to continue to see it. How dare you place their faces on there? But then this is the same administration that has somebody working their social media, and they're thinking that it's funny to go ahead and put images and video of people who are literally flipping out over what's happening with this current administration. So they're going to normalize racial bias, but we're not new to that, right? Desensitize the public. That's already been done, right? To disproportionate arrests and police violence. But see, that's already been done. That's already been done. Paving the way for harsher laws targeting specific communities under the guise of quote unquote safety. Because, we've seen it before. Now, what we can't do is ignore what's happening, okay? We do understand that the shift was always there, They're just bringing it to the forefront for everybody to see more and more and more. But again, y'all, this is not new information to this community, my black community, my black brothers and sisters. We already know what's up. Here's our call to action. Transparency, full racial breakdowns of arrests, not selective publicity, accountability, demand answers from elected officials who remain silent. And we're seeing a whole hell of a lot of that, aren't we? And here's something else. Community defense, support local advocacy groups documenting racial profiling and fighting back in courts and councils. Listen, racial profiling and police violence are about to spike, not just in DC. They're just making it quote unquote okay to do it. You should be made aware now if you have not already been. And here's the thing. If you have young black men in your home, if you have black men that you love, that you honor, that you respect, just know that we need to have those conversations with our young black men again. Mothers, daughters, sisters, grandmothers, aunties, just know. And it's not just about the black man, it's about the black folks, period. This is just a wake-up call. I will say this. Black folks, this is what you voted for. For those that were excited about this. You see how the press and you just get up in front of everybody and you just tell people what you want them to know and what to believe. And we believe it. How you feel about that? Because the next wave of policies are not done coming down. And you should be absolutely furious. But the question is, what you gonna do?
Y'all, did you catch the switch? Did you catch it? A few days ago, Donald Trump was talking about we're going to get the homeless off the streets of Washington, D.C. And now I'm not going to say only, they're mostly targeting black boys and men. They are going to them. They're going to them in daylight. They're not going out there past curfew. They're going there in daylight, and they have imported the Rudy Giuliani special, stop and frisk. You black, you are suspicious, empty your pockets. Let's see what you got. These are reminiscent of the Jim Crow laws or the past laws in South Africa. Why are you standing here? And what right do you have to be here? And prove to me that you have not committed a crime or you are not a walking crime. That's what they're doing. He's got the DEA, the FBI, Homeland Security, ICE, DC Metro Police. He's got National Guard, and he's got military, all for a few neighborhoods. The black community in the neighborhood that he has designated a trouble zone or wherever he calls it is being occupied right now. Where are those protesters supporting Gaza and Palestine, mad about the Israeli occupation 7,000 miles away? You got one happening right here. Where are those 2A people? You bought 3 million, 100 million guns, or whatever it is, because you were preparing for government tyranny. Where are you now? Where's the NRA? Where are all you 2A people? So look, if you are in D.C., remember, be careful, right? Especially if you're black male. Be careful. And look, it's not just black males in jeans and T-shirts. If you are in a suit and tie and you are even the federal government, if you are off-duty cop, you will still get it. Because it's not what you're wearing, it's the skin that you have. They're going to come after you. And white supremacy is never satisfied nor satiated. That's why he's already said he's coming for Chicago. He's already come for LA. He's coming for New York. He's coming for Oakland. And you know what else? That means Atlanta. That means Philly. That means wherever. That means Portland and Seattle, because he hates y'all anyway, even though most of y'all up there white. He hates y'all. You guys got next. So you better prepare yourselves. And look, it can't just be Gavin Newsom out there fighting back as a Democrat. It's got to be all these other governors. I know a few others are doing it, but it's got to be more. You got to have more. You can't just have this guy with his personal King's Guard and his personal thugs and goons terrorizing one community to start, because that's the fascist playbook. You start with one and you spread to others. I remember he said homeless, but now he's after everybody else who's black.
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at this video that has been making round where once again we see a double stand in how the system treat black people compared to everyone easily. The competition said it ultimates for black people affected. Black people in here are working out in the community to fight back. And honestly,
This message is for black folk. For months on end, I've seen us get on social media, laugh and mock the immigrant community. And I make video after video in solidarity with other marginalized communities, understanding the fight that we have standing together. And the very real fact that every harm that comes to any community, we get it the worst. People making jokes about undocumented folks getting picked up by ICE. And I said in video after video after video, that what do you think they are going to do to us? And folks were in the comments, but we're citizens. But this is what they voted for. Fuck around and find out. And I said that because of the president that we all have, we all end up stuck with the find out stage. And here we are in DC on August 15, 2025. And you know what citizenship has gotten people in DC? Unlawfully harassed, unlawfully stopped, unlawfully searched, maced, chased, and over-policed, as well as detained and jailed for simply standing around their community. And for all those goofies saying, oh, they're trying to reduce crime, DC has the technology that can zoom in so close to your license plate if you speed that you don't think they don't know who might be busting out a car window. And as I've said in many videos to my people, you can continue to claim that you are sitting it out, but they're going door to door, and it's just a matter of time before that door knock is yours or someone that you know. And if you're not willing to fight for your own life, who do you think is going to do it?
subscribe, share, and like. I'm sorry I was not because I wanted to be fine. If I wouldn't have this, I would still be feeling music and videos by you. Or you